It's the 9th of April 2009, and this is Ungulungu Meerkat Group, the Meerkat Magic Valley Meerkat Magic Conservation Project, OUDTSHOORN, Western Cape, South Africa. Currently there are 15 animals in Ungulungu Group. From November litter last year, 2008, there's one survivor. August litter 2008, there are 2 survivors. They're starting to move towards the riverbed system and towards Katanguru Group to the east of their range. And they're doing a lot of guarding, and this convoy kind of movement where they are staying very close together can be seen easily.
You told us 5 seconds they had to hide. Where
yes.
should they hide here?
Alright, that's a very good question. I like that very much. Right next to where they've gone now is an escape tunnel, but if we just have a look over here, I'm going to walk this along. Just up ahead, if you'd like to come have a look, there's an escape tunnel. So the meerkats are never far from any safety network. Their very survival depends on it. Again, what I mentioned earlier, 5 seconds or less to get to an escape tunnel. If you snooze, you will lose, and all of that I was mentioning. Well, the Lanner Falcon reaching speeds of over 370 kilometers or more. Here's an escape tunnel. Alright, you can see that. Right down into there. Now that could have been dug up by a porcupine, it could have been dug up by an ant bear, it could have been dug up by an aardwolf, a honey badger, but the meerkats are very, very close to it. Alright, so if we have a look there, and they're just standing up ahead. Alright, so I'm going to move again towards them. If you'd like to follow, thanks everyone. Again, just making those sounds to mask our movements as we get closer. Alright, and here's another escape tunnel. You're asking about escape tunnels? Well, here and there. So even closer. Alright. Hope that's clear. Can you see this one over here? Let's see what happens. And over there, the meerkats have just seen something and they've run to another escape tunnel. So in fact, this area is full of escape tunnels. The vegetation is also very, very thick. So the meerkats have to be extra careful here in case of possible ambush from a predator. Everyone, you can come on closer. Thank you. They won't stay too long in this area, I don't think, before moving on. Yes. So again, 3 big bolt holes all nearby this area. It's almost time to go again. So they've walked a long way already in a short time. Easily over 1,000+ meters. And by now they must be getting quite hungry. It's starting to get a bit warm as well. Probably today it will reach about 32 degrees, maybe a bit more. Definitely moving into the winter months now, but not there yet. Alright, so some of them are starting to scratch for food again, but most of them are just very, very alert still.
So they've actually mapped the area somehow. They know. They must know some. I mean, to where they're going, that there is tunnels everywhere.
They definitely seem to know where they're going. Again, being a matriarchal structure, the females are inheriting the territory, so they have grown up following their mother and all the rest, who've been showing them where all the holes are, and they've been following the scent trails, and they keep putting down scent trails again and again and again. But after rainfall, when the scent has been washed away, they still manage to find their way to the burrows to scent mark them. So it suggests that they have, as you mentioned, got a spatial mapping. They've mapped the area. They can remember it.
Do they stay away from the like other people, the other meerkats?
All right.
This is when they've just had babies.
That's a very clever question. I like that. The meerkats generally have their babies right in the middle of their territory. Just quickly pausing here, in the distance, the white-faced ducks calling there have again made them very alarmed. It's not a species they often encounter or hear. And when they come across other groups, it's usually because they've had to go all the way to the edge of the territory to get enough food when they've got babies. But they tend to go all the way back into the middle of the territory where it's safest. Meerkats who have babies on the edges of their territories, we found, usually lose their young to rival groups who come through and kill those babies. So they soon learn where the other groups are staying. Scent mark the territories. Some of them are taking a little break here, and it's back to play fighting.
Oh, yeah.
So we're getting a nice range of behaviors coming in here. Some play fighting, guarding, scent marking, some digging at the burrows, but always the guarding. They finish warming their bellies now as well.
Do they have some of the meerkats that fight? Are the ones that are the strongest and have to...
Alright, we found that usually the most experienced animals tend to be right at the front of the fray. Older animals tend to be in it. Younger animals tend to not seem to know what's going on. They stand around or run off, and they quite often get separated from their group after fights. So more experienced animals, like the dominant male and female, the alpha pair, tend to lead the fights quite often.
But to decide who is the highest in rank within
Yes,
the group, they only
yes.
use play fighting. They never have really bad fights within the group.
Well, I won't say exclusively play fighting, but it does seem to be a major part of when they're growing up. They do a lot of this play fighting. Sometimes it seems to get a bit more serious than just playing, and then they will make loud chattering sounds, which suggests that they basically had enough of that. And later, when they get older, they don't play fight as much as they do when they're younger usually. But it's usually a sign of good condition. But generally, there are not big serious fights when they get older inside the group. What we call inter-group aggression. And then you get inter-group aggression between the groups. That's common on the boundaries.
What if there is a male that has had to left
Yes.
another burrow?
Yes.
If he comes here and could he attack the major male here? If
Alright, yes, we do occasionally get what we call coalitions. Males moving together in small groupings, their brothers, their siblings, and moving into a group where there might be a single male, they can displace him and chase him out. It's quite commonly referred to as the displacement theory. If you look at certain spiders moving into one spider's like crevice where that animal was living, it will displace it. Rather than attacking an unknown rival, it will rather leave because there might be more territory. So with meerkat males, they usually defend their territories very aggressively if other males try to come in. But if a dominant female has lost the dominant male, other males will come in because there's now a scent change on the territory. If the dominant female dies, the next oldest female, usually a daughter, will become a dominant female, and other males will then come in. If her father, the dominant male, and her brothers are still around, they'll quite often leave and go in search of unrelated females. So the cycling effect or cyclical effect of the males moving from one place to the next happens often. But changes of dominance are not common. Again, lifetime of the meerkats 4 up to 7 years about. Right, so there they're going off into the distance